Good day friends, fellow seekers of health and vitality, I am Dr. Yang. Today, I want you to do something with me, right now. I want you to pause, and just for a moment, consider the most powerful, the most accessible, the most fundamental health intervention known to humankind. It's not a groundbreaking new drug from a high-tech lab. It's not a complex surgical procedure. It is, in fact, something so simple, so humble, that we often walk right past it a dozen times a day without a second thought. I am talking about water. Clear, plain, unassuming water. For the next while, I want to take you on a journey deep into the very heart of our bodies, into the rivers and oceans that flow within us, to understand how this single, simple substance, when consumed in the correct amounts, stands as one of our most formidable shields against two of the most fearsome adversaries of modern life, heart disease and stroke. This is not folk wisdom, this is not an old wives' tale. This is a conclusion drawn from rigorous, peer-reviewed scientific studies, and the implications for each and every one of us are nothing short of profound. Our bodies are, in a very real sense, aquatic organisms. We are born from water, and we are composed of it. An adult human body is approximately 60% water. Your brain? About 75% water. Your heart? Around 73% water. Even your bones, which seem so solid, are 31% water. Every single physiological process, from the firing of a neuron that allows you to comprehend these words, to the contraction of the heart muscle that pumps lifeblood through your veins, is utterly dependent on the presence of adequate water. It is the medium in which life's biochemistry takes place. It is the transporter of nutrients, the regulator of temperature, the lubricant of joints, and the detoxifier of waste. Without food, a human can survive for weeks. Without water, we perish in a matter of days. This is the foundational importance of what we are discussing. Now, let us narrow our focus to the cardiovascular system, that magnificent, relentless engine at your core. Your heart is a pump, and your blood vessels are the intricate network of pipes through which your blood, this life-sustaining river, flows. The primary job of this system is to deliver oxygen and nutrients to every one of the trillions of cells in your body and to carry away their metabolic waste. The efficiency of this system is paramount. And the single greatest determinant of that efficiency, from a purely physical standpoint, is the volume and the viscosity of your blood. Think of your blood not as a simple liquid, but as a complex soup. It contains cells, proteins, hormones, fats, and minerals. When you are well hydrated, the water content in your blood is high. This means the blood is more fluid, less thick, less viscous. It flows easily. It slips through your arteries with minimal resistance. Your heart, the pump, doesn't have to work very hard to push this hydrated, smooth-flowing blood to the farthest reaches of your body, to your fingertips and your toes. But what happens when you become dehydrated? This is the critical turning point. When your body is lacking water, it begins to conserve it. One of the first places it pulls water from is the bloodstream. The body prioritizes the water for its most critical functions, and as a result, the volume of your blood actually decreases. Simultaneously, with less water in the blood, the concentration of everything else in that soup, the red blood cells, the platelets, the clotting factors, the cholesterol, increases. The blood becomes thicker, stickier, and more syrupy. Imagine trying to pump maple syrup through a thin straw versus pumping water. The effort required is exponentially greater. This is the exact burden we place on our hearts when we are chronically underhydrated. The heart muscle must contract with more force, more frequently, to push that thicker, more resistant blood through the vessels. This leads to an increase in blood pressure. It's a simple matter of physics. And sustained high blood pressure, or hypertension, is the single most important risk factor for both heart disease and stroke. It silently damages the delicate lining of your arteries, creating microtears and areas of inflammation, setting the stage for disaster. This is where the science becomes so compelling. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology followed over 20,000 healthy middle-aged and older adults for several years. The researchers meticulously tracked their health outcomes and their fluid intake. The results were startling. The participants who reported drinking higher amounts of water, specifically, more than 5 glasses a day, showed a significantly lower risk of dying from a heart attack compared to those who drank 2 glasses or fewer. Even after accounting for other factors like age, weight, and diet, the protective effect of high water intake remained clear and significant. Why? Because adequate hydration is a natural, gentle, yet powerful vasodilator. It helps keep your blood vessels open and flexible. It reduces the strain on your heart. It is a daily, ongoing maintenance program for your entire cardiovascular infrastructure. But the story gets even more fascinating when we talk about stroke. A stroke occurs when the blood supply to a part of the brain is interrupted. This can happen in one of 2 main ways. The first, an ischemic stroke, is like a plumbing clog. A blood clot forms, often in an artery already narrowed by plaque, a condition known as atherosclerosis, and it travels to the brain, blocking a critical vessel. The second, a hemorrhagic stroke, is like a pipe bursting. A weakened blood vessel in the brain ruptures and bleeds into the surrounding tissue. Chronic dehydration is a key accomplice in both of these catastrophic events. In the case of the ischemic stroke, the clog, remember that thick, syrupy blood we discussed? That blood is not just harder to pump, it is also more prone to clotting. Platelets, the tiny cell fragments that rush to seal a wound, become more active and sticky in a dehydrated state. The delicate balance between clotting and anti-clotting factors in the blood is disrupted. This dramatically increases the likelihood of a clot forming spontaneously inside a vessel, which can then travel to the brain with devastating consequences. For the hemorrhagic stroke, the burst pipe, the link is through hypertension. The constant, excessive pressure of pushing thick blood through rigid arteries weakens the vessel walls over time, much like constantly overinflating a bicycle tire weakens the rubber. These weakened spots can develop into aneurysms, balloon-like bulges, that are prone to rupture. By maintaining healthy blood pressure through proper hydration, we reduce the mechanical stress on our cerebral arteries, making them far less likely to fail. The evidence here is equally powerful. Research, including a large-scale study from the Loma Linda University, has indicated that high water intake is associated with a lower risk of both types of stroke. It acts as a dual safeguard, making dangerous clots less likely to form and protecting the integrity of the blood vessels themselves. Now, I can already hear the questions forming. You might be thinking, but I drink coffee. I drink tea. I eat soup. I get fluids from other sources. This is a crucial point of clarification, and it gets to the very heart of what correct amount truly means. The studies that show these remarkable benefits are primarily referring to the consumption of plain water. Why? Because many other beverages come with baggage. Sugary sodas and fruit juices introduce a massive load of fructose, which can promote inflammation, insulin resistance, and weight gain, all of which are independent risk factors for heart disease. Even artificially sweetened drinks may have negative metabolic consequences for some individuals. Caffeinated beverages like coffee and tea are mild diuretics, meaning they can cause you to lose a slight amount of water. While they certainly contribute to your overall fluid balance and have their own health benefits, they are not a perfect substitute for pure water. The body processes plain water most efficiently, without any added metabolic cost. So, what is the correct amount? You have all heard the old adage, 8 glasses a day. While this is a reasonable and easy-to-remember goal, the truth is more nuanced. Your individual water needs depend on your body size, your activity level, the climate you live in, and your overall health. A large, muscular man who works out intensely in a hot climate will need far more water than a petite, sedentary woman in a temperate room. A more personalized and scientifically sound approach is to listen to your body and to observe it. Thirst is an obvious signal, but it is also a late signal. By the time you feel thirsty, you are already mildly dehydrated. A better indicator is the color of your urine. Aim for a pale, straw-colored yellow. If your urine is dark yellow or amber, that is a clear sign from your body that it needs more water. We must also address a common barrier, the belief that drinking more water means constant, inconvenient trips to the bathroom. This is often a temporary adjustment. As you consistently provide your body with ample water, your system regulates itself. Your bladder adapts, and the initial frequency often subsides. Furthermore, spreading your intake throughout the day, rather than chugging large quantities at once, can help manage this. Keep a water bottle on your desk, in your car, by your bedside. Make sipping water a constant, gentle habit, not a chore. I want you to imagine your cardiovascular system as a pristine, flowing river. When the water level is high and the current is strong, the river is clean, healthy, and vibrant. Debris is carried away effortlessly. Now, imagine that river during a drought. The water level drops. The current slows to a trickle. The water becomes muddy and stagnant. Algae grows. The system begins to choke on its own waste. This is the perfect analogy for what happens inside us with chronic, low-grade dehydration. We are allowing our internal rivers to slow and stagnate, creating the perfect environment for the sludge of atherosclerosis and the clots of stroke to take hold. The beautiful, empowering truth is that we hold the power to keep our rivers flowing. Every sip of water is an act of maintenance. It is a conscious decision to lower the pressure in your pipes. It is a deliberate effort to thin your blood, to ease the workload of your most vital muscle, to protect the delicate tissues of your brain. This is not a complicated prescription. It does not require a doctor's visit. It is not expensive. It is available to almost everyone, anywhere. It is a foundational pillar of health that has been hiding in plain sight. The scientific evidence is there, consistently and persuasively pointing to the same conclusion: maintaining proper hydration is a simple, powerful, and profoundly effective strategy for safeguarding your heart and your brain for years to come. So, I leave you with this call to action. Do not let the simplicity of this message fool you into inaction. Today, right now, make a commitment to yourself. Commit to drinking that correct amount of water. See it not as a burden, but as the most fundamental act of self-care you can perform. Your heart, which beats over 100,000 times a day for you, deserves that support. Your brain, the very seat of your consciousness, deserves that protection. And if this message has resonated with you, if you see the profound value in understanding and applying these simple, life-saving principles, then I urge you to become part of a community dedicated to wellness. If you found this information valuable, please subscribe to this channel. By subscribing, you are not just clicking a button, you are choosing to continue this journey towards better health, to receive more insights that can empower you and your loved ones. Like this video if it has opened your eyes to the power of water. And most importantly, share this message. Share it with your parents, who may be at a higher risk for these conditions. Share it with your friends, your colleagues, your children. You never know whose life you might be helping to prolong. In a world of complex medical advice, let us return to the basics. Let us raise a glass of clear, pure water, to our health, to our vitality, and to a future with healthier hearts and sharper minds. Thank you.